bring the whole fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's gotta be biblical.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Patriots Across the Pond and Friends. Today we are here with Red Pilling Rene, episode 11. How is everyone today?
I'm hot.
You're hot, yeah.
No, he's not hot. He's hot.
He's hot.
Hot.
I'm
It's very different. The temperature difference is substantial.
Yeah, well, there's we don't pronounce the H here if you come from certain places, so I'm hot. Yeah, but it's I don't normally wear a shirt in this type of weather, but obviously podcasting season, I have to. So I've got
It's decent.
All curtains shut. I've got fly blinds on 3 windows, so they're all open. Warm air is coming in, but it's fine. Happy days. How are you? So normally I've got a hat on, Rene, and you haven't. Now we've swapped roles.
Got my hat on today.
Yeah.
I literally rolled out of bed. I have been so lazy, and I think I have my red pilling nature to thank for this. And the reason is this: nothing bothers me anymore.
That's great.
Nothing can upset me. I realize that I'm part of something greater, thanks to you guys, thanks to this awakening. I know that everything is kind of like under control. I don't stress myself out over minutia anymore. And more importantly, I'm willing to accept loss. Like, oh, okay, it's fine. You don't want to be with me? That's cool. And what's amazing is that it gives you incredible strength, and people feed off of it. People want to be around you even more when you're just like, it's all good.
Yeah.
And that comes from, seeing reality with a different lens.
Well, on a positive note, every time we do a show and we mention that we do our show with you, we get, right, Stu? We get so many comments in the chat about how people love you. They love the show. They love watching your journey. They're so happy and proud of you and supportive. So, you're kind of building a whole new little family, an online family.
That's really, really sweet. It wasn't the path I expected to be on in 2026, but here I am on this path in 2026.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us expected us to be on this path at some stages in our life anyway.
Yeah.
It's all learning curve. Just some people are a little bit ahead and some people are a little bit behind, and some people are exactly where you are, right in there, right in the thick of it, not giving a fuck about anything. Right, chilled out,
whatever.
Yeah. So I mean,
for example, I would never give myself Fridays off. And I said, I've decided to give myself Fridays off.
That's
good.
Great.
I just woke up the other day like, I think I should just give myself Fridays off. So I'm now here, but then after I'm done here, I'm going to go do whatever I feel like doing. I'm not going to work today.
That's
Hence the outfit.
That's great. And with the kids off in the summer, right? They're gonna love that 1 extra day with Dad.
Well, we're actually going to Europe, believe it or not. We're going to Gisela and Stefan and I, because Fran's going to be at Georgetown for Georgetown summer.
Okay.
You know, she's going to her senior year of high school, so she's taking 2 classes at Georgetown. But we're going to Sweden and Norway.
Nice.
Isn't that cool?
Very cool.
Yeah. And it was my son's idea. He goes to me like, you know, he's 11. He goes, this is back in like maybe last summer. He goes, Daddy, why are girls from Sweden so pretty? I'm like, well, you know, they're blonde, they're blue eyes, they're in good shape, you know. I want to go to Sweden. And I'm like, all right, so we'll go to Sweden. So the kid, you know what he does?
What?
He goes on Duolingo and starts teaching himself Swedish because of the pretty girls in Sweden at 11.
Gosh. That is so funny.
He's on that Duolingo. I try to pronounce, you know, a word, and he's like, no. It's r. You have to roll.
Oh, that's so amazing.
Yeah, good boy.
Yeah.
And now he plans on living in Sweden. He's going to let us. He'll have an extra room for us when he's married with his Swedish girl.
That is hysterical.
That's boys. That's how we're designed.
That's so cute.
Right, Stu? We got a plan, and
whenever I go or have done in the past to a new country, I always get myself a little Collins Gem phrase book, not a dictionary. Right, a phrase book, phrases counting up to 100 and all these sorts of things. So I think it's always appreciative when you go somewhere else to try and use their language a little bit. We went to help my mum move house in Spain, and I bought a Spanish one. Obviously, a lot of people from England have been to Spain many times, but every time I tried to order or something like that, they wanted to speak back to me in English. Right? It's like they had no time for me in Spain. Other places I've been, you know, Egypt and wherever else. Yeah. Holland.
No, it's definitely you know, the right way to, you know, to be, I think, to at least make the effort.
Yeah, to honor their culture.
Yeah, I think so.
So, guys, I just want to let you know I have to bug out of here at 9 because we have to go to the funeral mass. So we got to get over there.
So we'll do a short.
Or you could, you know, crack on with Stu if we're in the middle of something, because I don't want to cut it short for me.
Maybe we could do some, like, you know, because we've been off for 2 weeks, so I need to kind of get caught up on everything that's new and woke in Awakened Land.
Yeah.
What do you got there, Stu?
Look at his notes.
I've got just loads of stuff written down. We can go through them all if you like.
Today, you know what today is, Stu? And Rene, it's the Israeli Day Parade.
Red pilled me.
It's the Israeli Day Parade, New York.
The Israeli Day Parade.
Yeah, I just thought George told me that.
What is that?
I didn't know that was a thing, but it is apparently.
Yeah.
So it sounds.
I've never been more ambivalent to a war. I'm like, oh, they're blowing each other up. I'll have a cup of tea, please.
Right, allegedly. All right, so Stu, why don't you start things going with some of these topics, and then we'll just kind of fall in.
Oh, well, let me just play a video that I've played for a few people this week, because I think this is great. You haven't seen that "What If Trump Isn't a Clown" video, have you?
Have you seen that, Rene?
No.
It's a good video. Okay.
Right, yeah, let me just play this, because this is excellent.
What if I told you Trump might not be an idiot, not a clown, not even reckless, but the only guy in the room who already knows how this ends? And by the end of this, you might start seeing it too. Look at what he's doing. Fighting Iran, pushing NATO, picking fights with everyone. Canada, Mexico, Europe. It looks messy. It looks stupid, like everything's falling apart, right? Good, because that's exactly how it's supposed to look. Right now, the entire world runs on Middle East oil. Japan, around 75%. India, about 60%. China, nearly half. Europe, deep in it. And most of that oil moves through one place, the Strait of Hormuz. And yeah, this isn't small. Around 20% of the world's oil flows through that one choke point. So think about this. What happens if that just stops? No warning, no backup, just gone. Prices spike, markets panic, supply chains start snapping. Countries don't just struggle, they start making desperate decisions. But here's what most people miss. Oil isn't rare, it's just controlled. The biggest reserves? Venezuela, Canada, the United States. So now think carefully. If the Middle East goes dark, where does the entire world turn? North America. And that's where it gets uncomfortable. Because who's holding US debt? China, Japan, Europe. The same countries that would suddenly need American energy just to keep running. So what do? Walk away from the dollar and lose access to energy, or stay locked in because they have no choice. And now here's the part nobody talks about. What if looking chaotic, what if looking like a clown is exactly what keeps everyone distracted? What if losing the war is how you win control? So tell me, is he just a buffoon, or are we watching the setup of the biggest economic trap ever played? Wait, what if this was the plan all along?
Right. So, I got it. So, the petrodollar is the way the American empire has maintained dominance by having the dollar as the fiat currency of the world. So the question is, because I have such a hard time with this topic, I really do. On one hand, I get it. We want to maintain that global dominance. But what I'm seeing with my eyes is Trump telling the world, you're on your own, right? He's telling the people of NATO. He's telling England. He's telling the Spanish, oh, you need to help us out here with the Strait of Hormuz. You didn't help us with Iran. You gotta carry your own weight. It's an interesting battle of philosophies, which leads to chaos, really, because it's very hard to have this monetary dominance and at the same time tell every country you're on your own, right? It's almost like a conflicting philosophy. I will dominate the currency, which doesn't make sense to me because he's a crypto person. It's really a mishmash of ideas. And maybe that's the goal, to keep everyone off balance.
Well, there's a lot of things that need to be destroyed, i.e. NATO and other things like that. And what Trump's getting at with those things, not you on your own, is we are behind you. But every country, this whole plan, I believe, is to put every country back to their sovereign roots, right? So every country becomes independent and sovereign, and so do their people. Yeah. And Trump is basically saying, like he said in 2017, we are giving power back to you, the people. That's what he said to the Iranians, wasn't he? America, we are behind you, but it's your time. You have to go out and you have to stand up as a nation. And this is what every country, the UK, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, every country's got to stand up. This is why I've said so many times.
So what you're saying, Stu, is it's basically an attack on globalism, right?
Yeah.
107.
That's what this is. It's an attack on globalism.
Yeah.
Yes. And if we accept that the cabal controls globalism, then it's an attack on the cabal.
100%. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the logical conclusion of what this policy is.
Yeah.
Trump talking in the UN and stuff is like, globalization is dead. We are fighting the globalists. You know, he said this all the way along.
Right. So the opposite of globalism is sovereignness, correct?
Yeah.
And what's the benefit of sovereignness? You control your borders, right? Let's just think about it logically.
Yeah.
You control your culture, your cultural heritage.
Yes.
Right. You control your own national identity and safety.
Yeah.
You increase your defense budget because you don't depend on global protection by organizations or the American empire, right? Then all of a sudden, our quality of life in the United States increases theoretically, because you can never trust the efficiency of government, right? Because government's like inefficient by nature. But now all these countries that have like 0% GDP going to defense now have to spend for their own defense. And where are they going to get their arms from? Us, because we're the biggest supplier of arms in the world. You know, us, the Chinese, to some extent the British. But what it's doing is telling the world you have to carry your own bag. You can't just depend on the United States, and you can't depend on globalism,
Right,
to solve your problems.
and I think it goes deeper too, because if you think about it, the globalism concept has weakened and turned the world into children, right? We've all been turned into children because we're going to rely on this force that's going to take care of us and tell us what to do all the time. So what they're now able to do, you know, America and what Trump has done is the blueprint for everybody else. Get your economy in shape. It's to destroy the central bank, which has essentially destroyed the world and feeds the cabal. So now you get rid of the central bank. Now all these countries can have their own, you know, go back to their own currencies, have their own banking system. And with that, them building their economy, the goal is now we can be in parity. There shouldn't be poverty around the world if everybody is using their own resources, their own banking systems, right? Shouldn't be starving people in Africa.
Well, you realize that if we go to a digital currency, it's the end of all of us. We're all dead. I mean, it's over. Because if they go to a digital currency, they control your money, right? They control your money. If, like, people like you, Elisa, which are outspoken, you know, have an opinion, you can be silenced with your money because it's a digital currency. You know what I mean? Stu, I know in Europe, there's a big movement politically to get digital currency in the euro. And it will be the end of Europe. It'll be the end of society as we know it, if that ever happens.
If it's the central bank digital currency.
Right.
And I think that's what they're trying to wake people, like England right now, the UK, they're in their Biden years. Like, how bad can you withstand this before you stand up?
This administration has been here.
But under the other system where we're going to a more quantum system, which we understand and hope is based on frequency, it's based on individual, you know, a more sophisticated way of having your own, you're in control of your own finances, you're in control of your own wallet. You don't have to go through a bank. If I want to pay you, I don't have to go through a bank. You know, we can do it person to person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, over here, there was a big push for it, but the people stood up and then they took a step back. And then old Sausage Fingers, a couple of weeks ago, basically said that they were going to do it. But I think these people have all capitulated anyway. I think it's right. All these things are being done to absolutely rile people up so that they actually make a stand and get involved and say, we're not doing it. It's the people that have got to do it. Not Trump coming in with the military and saving everyone, because fucking 10 years down the road, everyone will be doing it again. The people have to wake up. This is the whole point of it.
Yeah.
I noticed too in England there was a lot of uprising. Is that like still going on, or have people kind of gone back to the pub?
Yeah, I mean, people go back. We had the United Kingdom march about 3-4 weeks ago. There was a lot of patriots there. I don't think there was as many there as I thought there were going to be, but a lot of people from around the world were there speaking out. And then obviously we've been tracking Nick Shirley, haven't we, as he's going through Minnesota and Mar-a-Lago and over to Cuba. He was on stage in London, funnily enough, doing the speech, which bodes well, because I think Nick Shirley is not part of Q Team, but he's certainly part of the 60,000 army, or what, playing a part to wake the people up. It's just going to snowball and snowball until the hammer goes down, and then people won't be able to look away anymore. I don't know what the catalyst is going to be for the normies, but it's got to be something big now, because they're just not involved.
Yeah, the other thing that's very interesting that we heard is in all these big cities, they have also controlled us, MK Ultra'd us with the way they've changed the frequency, and it's caused us to be lethargic and tired. It blocks our pineal, all this kind of stuff. Now, supposedly and allegedly, they've started to turn the frequencies back to where we thrive. And I think they said it was a Monday or a Tuesday, I don't know what Monday or Tuesday, that they did this in New York, because New York City. Now, the other thing to realize is that you might have a scare event, but if they are changing the frequencies back to where we can operate more fully on our own intuition and our own common sense, and then that might happen at the same time, because if we're all operating higher, we'll awake, we'll see this stuff faster. So it could be that they're doing this in a very methodical way so that people have the capacity, because they've been dumbed down so much with the fluoride and all these other things that they've done to us. So I think they said in that article, I think I sent it to you guys, there's like 28 cities left. Now, maybe there's not anymore, because this was a couple of weeks ago, but that's what they've done to us too. So, people that are asleep, are they asleep because they're just dense, or are they asleep because they've been manipulated with mind control?
I mean, I know that people are just struggling for the most part. They're just trying to, survive, and that never-ending need to just make ends meet has people a lot of people barely living. I mean, they're just trying to, put food on the table. It's really very difficult for a lot of human beings right now.
Yeah,
it is.
Especially the naked ones in the back of.
I didn't see naked.
Right, George.
We saw an arm with a tattoo.
I saw an arm, Jack.
Yeah.
Because I think I saw your arm.
Yeah, well, Scott Besant has just said there won't be any.
So this administration has been very clear. There will be no central bank digital currency, which I think would be the first step toward tracking. So we have taken that off the table. We've passed stablecoin legislation. With
this government
is now up on the hill. I think it has bipartisan support. And the most important thing we can do is to make digital assets come into the United States, make the U.S. the home. Our regulation, our best practices are what will ensure good standards for these. When you look at digital assets, all the nonsense that happens, all the things you read about, that's because it's the wild, wild west offshore. So we got to bring it onshore. So I would encourage the House and the Senate to get clarity done. Jack?
Yep. It's a big deal. There's a lot of pushback from the establishment on that, on the banking establishment, but I think there's such a need for it, and it's getting bipartisan support, so hopefully clarity will pass this year. And they're even talking about passing it on July 4th, symbolically. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's Trump's stated goal, to pass it on July 4th. If he could do that, it'd be great. I'm going to be in DC on July 4th. Sending my daughter off to Georgetown for the summer, so we'll be there.
So what do you think is coming on July the 4th?
Clarity Act, if they pass it. If he signs Clarity Act on July 4th, I'll be a very happy person.
I mean, maybe I'm being naive, but I'm sort of the belief that this is all done and we're just watching it play out.
Yeah, no, what I mean is we know a lot of that, but what do you think is coming publicly on July the 4th?
Him signing the law. So I've done a lot over the year with that signature in mind. Because what happens as an investor with that Clarity Act, when it passes, literally trillions of dollars in global wealth can get tokenized, because a lot of money is very controlled and they can't just invest in things that aren't essentially a sure thing. So Clarity Act gives clarity to digital assets that right now don't exist. And for someone like me, who's taken this interesting road, Lisa, interesting road. But someday I know that this road was the road God put me on. And I'm going to help a lot of people if I'm right. A lot of people.
Yeah. Well, that's the goal we all have. Yeah.
So this Clarity Act, I think, is very, very important, because it'll give institutional clarity to digital assets. And then once you have that, then you can raise money in a different way. You could do all kinds of things that you could used to be able to do with stocks. Now you'll be able to do with digital assets, and it'll really, really increase the size of the digital economy.
Yeah, everything's moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very exciting. Really
Even
is.
technically, I think it was Carrie Cassidy who told me at the last event in October. Have you noticed when you fly, in the last year or so, like they have a estimated landing time? So say it's 2:30 and then you get in at 2, or you get in at like 40 minutes early, or, there's this, we gained speed, whatever the hell they tell us. But she said it's because they're using a lot of these new technologies. Now, clearly we're still riding around in tin cans, but she said that's part of the new technologies. And I don't know, she got very technical on me, and I'm not that kind of I don't have that kind of brain. But so I think a lot of these things are already implemented, whether it's financial, whether it's technological. I just don't think it's been made public, and what I find interesting, I thought you would find this, with Cuba, I mean, to switch roles, but now we've got this indictment, right, of Raul Castro.
Yeah.
And his daughter just came out and, saying that, I don't know if she said it, but she kind of implied it, I guess, that Justin Trudeau is her half brother, which in the truther community, we've all known, everybody calls him Justin Castro, because we kind of have known that Fidel was his father. But what I'm saying is we're just seeing exposure like over and over and over in all these ways that they're dumping on people. Now, is everybody picking it up at the same time? No, but there's, little by little.
Yeah, I mean, you're learning. There's so many things you're learning about. Seems like a lot of world leaders are homosexuals. they can be controlled, like something you never thought about. Like, it's just, anyway. Now, literally nothing surprises me. I'm living a movie now. Like, it's just like, oh, of course, of course we didn't go to the moon.
Welcome to the party.
Duh.
I just want to say, Abby's in the chat, Blue Eyes. She has done, if anyone doesn't know who she is, she's done some amazing videos. Go to her Rumble channel or Twitter, and you have all probably seen some of the videos she's done. They're excellent. And much love to Brad out there as well. Those two do some great shows. Superb stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about time? Do you think time is speeding up? There's a lot of posts coming out lately about, candles burning, they're...
Stu, I think we're just getting older. I don't know. When you get older, things are faster. I don't know that I haven't thought about time. Actually, time is not something I've been thinking about. But tell me about it. Why do you think time has been, or the perception of time has been speeding up?
Yeah, I mean, there's people posting loads of videos and stuff now. There was one about candles somewhere, about some, don't quote me on this, some Himalayan monks or something like that. They make their candles and they always burn for 24 hours, but they're now burning for like 26, 27 hours or less. You know, times, it just, everyone you speak to, it's like time has been speeding up. And it's
well, listen, no, it's interesting. So for this week, I just decided, like, I just wasn't in the mood, right? So I took Wednesday off as well. Let me tell you something. Time goes very slow if you take the pressure off. It's, perception is reality, right? I felt that Wednesday was eternal compared to my days in the office and in court and in work. When I work intensively, the day goes like this.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it's like, 6 o'clock.
Right.
But when you actually have time to take a deep breath, time is actually a lot more manageable.
Yeah, exactly. I
It
mean,
really
if you
is.
take time off and you got lots to do, it goes the same,
Yeah.
But if you take your time off and just sit in stillness, it can go on for ages, can't it?
For ages. And how great is that?
Yeah. Although that being said, I do think that in some strange way, time does feel faster. It just does. Like I said after, like, I don't know if anybody else experienced this, but we went from 2020 with the COVID nonsense, and when that 5 years, whatever it was, like 2024, let's say, so 4 years, I don't know if anybody else felt it. I felt like I blinked my eyes. And honestly, I don't know if it was my perception. I felt like I aged. Now, I wasn't stressed per se, but maybe there could have been stress, right? We were all stressed about what was going on just because there was so much happening. But I don't know. It feels weird. That's the only way I could explain it. Now, because I'm just kind of pushing things along because I want to hit a lot of things. Stu, do you have the Stargate picture?
Yeah, that has been, right. I want to say something. When I showed that yesterday on the show with Matrix, people have superimposed the actual Stargate over there. So when I was saying this is what it is, it's not. It doesn't actually look like that. I was hoping, you said yesterday, didn't you? We've got quite a sophisticated audience, so you would hope people will go, hold up a minute, it doesn't look like that. But what they're building looks very similar to something like that.
Where are they building it?
At the White House for the UFC event.
Oh, that. Right. You can't get tickets for that, right? That's like invite only?
Hang on. I've just got a video here.
Because if you can get tickets, I will get tickets. Because I'm going to be down there.
Sure that you see.
Oh, shit. Yeah, it's Stargate.
It is part of the stage for the UFC event set to take place on June 14th, which also happens to be Donald Trump's 80th birthday. 7 fights are expected to take place at the White House, all part of a series of celebrations for America's 250th birthday. According to Sports Business Journal, UFC CEO and Trump ally Dana White said that the Ultimate Fighting Championship would pay for the multi-million-dollar arena. The $60 million event will consist of 5,000 seats on the south lawn of the White House, and an additional viewing area will be set up on the Ellipse, the park adjacent to the south side of the White House, and that will host 85,000 ticket holders. A total of 90,000 free tickets will be distributed by the UFC. Reporting for Newsweek from the White House, I'm Leonardo Feldman.
Oh, so they're free. Cool.
Yeah, I'll just find that other picture that people have been posting.
Superimposed, yeah.
And that's videos, because this is what people have been saying. It looks like that. Rene, you look at the screen?
It's a Stargate.
Yeah. So that is obviously what people are superimposing.
That's what they're gonna build that.
Well,
these guys are not playing, man.
Nothing is random. Everything has meaning.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
So last week when we were in Florida, the whole family, I got into a little thing with Gianna was quiet. I know she was sitting there thinking, "You're a fucking nut, mom," but she wasn't really saying it. But her boyfriend and I got into like a thing, and I was. It's sort of like when you get kind of like people are coming at you, you're trying to figure out how to do this in a methodical way. And so I did my best, but it was the talking points. Like, why is he spending, all this money on the ballroom? And, he's just starting all these wars and what's going on with Iran. And I was like, where the hell do I start? Especially they're like in their 20s, they don't have the life experience we've had either. So I'm trying to explain, where do you start? You start with, we're under a military operation. You need to understand that first.
Yeah, that phrase right there can be very startling.
It can, but it's all for our good.
I think you have to find a better way to say it. I think the way you say it is this. There is a master plan being put into place as we speak. How's that?
Well,
isn't that a little bit softer?
Well, this was like
because the way you're saying it, it's like we're under martial law. Like what?
I think
there's
we
like
are
a way
martial law.
to say it.
But
we're part. There's a grand plan being put into place.
Well,
no, there has been a grand plan in place for maybe 6,000 years to
kill us.
The earth, and the white hats for minimum of 60 years have been putting in a counter operation to reverse.
Right.
So
right. Exactly.
Anyone that trumps this and all this sorts of stuff and don't know what's going on, I say to them, just watch this. Joe M, the plan to save the world, 13 minutes, and then talk to me after that.
Yeah, that's we got into a bunch of things. It didn't get like adversarial, but at one point he's like, Miss Elisa, this doesn't make any sense. And I was like, okay, just like slow down. But I always end whatever I talk to people about that are, hearing a lot of this stuff. I always end with, listen, here's the bottom line. There are going to be technologies. The financial system is going to change. There's going to be a lot of things. Everyone's going to have more prosperity. So amazing where we're going. And after we get into this, like I see their faces, like, well, I hope so. And I was like, no, your generation is going to live a much better life than mine. And hopefully we'll all be living longer and more, happy, healthy, relaxed lives. But it's very chaotic. So everything you're responding to right now is 100% correct. It's chaotic.
So I have a silly question because it just kind of like hit me. Are they building an actual Stargate or just something that looks like a Stargate?
You tell me.
Right.
And why there? Why exactly in that spot? Is there something about that spot?
Well, the whole of Washington DC. Have you looked into this? Have you looked into the, above plan of Washington DC and the owl and all this and
Don't
the
assume
inverted
an ex-army like me is in tune with this stuff, Sue. You can tell me about it.
It was all built.
Look, maybe
in a satanic way. It was all built.
I know something about that.
Okay, so it's a picture if you look at the shape and all that, but we have to also remember the importance of the ley lines and how the ley lines, they've used the ley lines of the earth, and there are places where they cross, and those are powerful, powerful areas where the Satanists have used to summon, and of course I'm making this very
rudimentary,
simplifying it very much because it goes much deeper than I could even explain. But the point is that these ley lines have a lot of power in them, and they utilize them to summon demons and do all these things to increase their power. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. So what we understand is that this ballroom project is really about dismantling. I don't know the right word.
I think some of your guests may have hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
I think they're right. I'm talking about Jeff and English Hawk. It's really about awareness. because if it looks like a Stargate, then you could have people start looking it up.
Yeah.
What is the Stargate? And then they'll see stuff online about all the Stargates around the world. And then it'll be like, oh, that's why we were in Iraq. You know, like
It won't be so
that's why
crazy.
we were in Iran.
Yeah, it'll be easy to digest. So the point is also that's probably a very
could be it. It'll put put it front and center in front of people's eyes, and not in some Hollywood movie where it's just a movie.
Yeah, 100%. But I also think there's also like people don't understand that when he started to, or I say he, but when they started dismantling this under the White House, it affected worldwide their power because of the strength of those ley lines. And so we are seeing them dismantle this whole satanic control that they've had. Now we're talking about aliens are in the news and all this kind of stuff. So you got this Stargate. So I think we just looked at this idea of another rocket going up, right?
Blew up.
Moon with Artemis. Well, people have to start realizing if we've been to the moon, which we believe we have, and we've been to Mars, which we believe we have, and God knows where else, how are we getting there? How are we getting there? We're not like shooting through the atmosphere in a tin can.
You know, it's incredible. Like now all this alien stuff comes out because of, deep fakes. People don't know what's real or not. And they just like, oh yeah, another alien video. Oh, another spaceship video. It's really laughable. And clearly this is the only time in history that you could have done this, because people have no idea what reality is anymore.
Yes.
True.
No idea. They can literally, they could give you all the alien videos, all of them. And people would be like, oh, okay, that's nice. Because nobody knows what's true anymore.
Well, there's so much AI and stuff out there and fakery.
Yeah, no one knows.
And unless people go down the rabbit hole themselves and do their own research or speak to someone.
The president of the United States could say, I had lunch with an alien yesterday, and nobody would bat an eye.
Well, you've seen all the videos Trump's been posting, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And no one, it doesn't get a rise out of anybody.
So why aren't the mainstream media attacking him for it?
I no longer look at the mainstream media.
No, but the mainstream media are controlled by the white hats, I believe, across the board, pretty much.
100%.
There might be a few randoms out there that they're being hung out to dry so we can watch them suffer on screen. But I think the white hats have controlled the mainstream media for 10 years. Yeah.
Look, if you go back, and Stu, I don't remember what video, it might have been Charlie Freaks, when we first heard that Ben Salman was supposed to go to all the big tech companies, right? And it appeared as if they were telling them to capitulate. Someone said somewhere they were told to censor. That was their objective.
Control and the white hats,
to show what they really were all about.
Yeah, the white hats did the censoring. They were the ones that shut us all down, took us off Twitter after January the 6th. It's all part of this operation. Telegram was there for us all, wasn't it? And what an amazing platform Telegram has been. You know? You don't get any arguing on Telegram, although it's a place that we want normies to see. And a lot of normies won't go anywhere near Telegram. I don't know why. All right.
Before I met Lisa, I had no idea what Telegram was. No idea what the hell it was. You want me to do what? You want me to call you on what? And this was not too long ago, Elisa.
Right. Is this summer?
This was like in May of last year, June.
Yeah.
June, July.
Yeah, we were getting into our
My life has just gone through this revolution.
For anyone that used to actually, I wasn't actually on 4chan and 8kun 8chan in the day, I was getting most of my information from Twitter, shows, and qmat.pub. That when that started in 2018, I think. That used to do great stuff. But in those days, the board, right, like 4chan, is where stuff used to almost appear first, and then people used to take it off there and put it on Twitter and stuff. But news is coming out so fast these days that a lot of the time you'll see it on Twitter and Telegram before it even gets on 8kun now.
It's amazing. Like, you know, the internet, you didn't know what it was going to become, but it's really become something incredible in terms of information and what people are exposed to that they weren't exposed to before.
It's
very hard to control.
Yeah,
it's hard to control the internet.
Yeah, well, I think whoever created it, whether they created it to take us down, we've used it against them. It is the most amazing tool.
Yeah,
it's like before, you know, you used to have to either go to a library or something or call someone on the phone. You know, it wasn't, you know, when YouTube came out, it was amazing, wasn't it? People sharing videos from all around the world. You could learn things. You could, you know, learn how to thread a sewing machine. I learned, you know, because I bought one. I didn't know how to do it, and all sorts of stuff. But it was amazing. It was just a sharing platform until we all got censored off that as well, which is why, you know, I went to BitChute after that, but that doesn't work in the UK now. So that's why we're all on Rumble. But Rumble's pretty special, really, at the moment.
General Flynn told us we're creating a digital, like, this was all part of the plan. And I really believe that the lockdown, though there were many reasons for it, right, was to just get us like, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to communicate? Where are we going to, we can't go.
3-second clip.
We have an army of digital soldiers.
Yes, we do. Sorry to interrupt you there, Elisa, but I thought
that's okay. No, but the point is we all went to the internet. People with you know, at the time, like Skyping, Zooming, doing this. Oh, let's like cook together. Let's do that. Because, and then what did that lead to? My kids, I could ask any question. They're like, I got this tutorial.
Instantly. And the way it's changed, it's evolved the internet. Now it's just incredible because it's got all these AI add-ons and then like, I mean, I'm not convinced that it's going to be used against us at some point because we're giving it too much information about ourselves. You know, people literally have relationships with their AIs. Like literally. And the AI probably knows the person more than their own spouse.
Oh yeah, I have a client who, when she has an interaction of sorts with her going through her divorce, she asks the question of AI, like, why am I being triggered? Blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And it comforts her because it makes her think, you know, oh yeah, okay. So it's very true. It's a resource.
So the danger with that is, of course, that we become so dependent on it that it becomes like, you know, people's like almost like they're God. Like they won't do anything without it. Like how people used to rely on, you know, fortune tellers or, you know, people that read palms. You know, like they won't do anything without checking with AI first, and that's concerning, especially if it's centralized.
Well, it's whole social media as well, because if we do get some sort of communications blackout at any stage, and they shut all these platforms down, some people will lose half their life. You know, they won't know what to do because a lot of people only live their lives online now.
So that's the danger. The danger is, you know, if you think about it, every time you have centralization of anything, you're putting all this incredible compute and power into the hands of the few. So you've got, you know, OpenAI, you've got Anthropic, you've got Google, you know, they're like the big three, right? So, which is, you know, Google, Gemini, you have Grok. The problem is that AI can be manipulated. You know, if the people are now relying on it so much, but it's centralized, don't you think that eventually some of the answers that you'll get will meet someone's end? You know? So that's why the future has to be decentralized AI. It has to be. Because if it's centralized, are we better off as a species, as mankind? I don't think we are, because now we're even more dependent on a system, except it's a new system. It's an artificial intelligence system that is centralized. So the only way to combat it is for the development of decentralized artificial intelligence, what actually works for the people and can't be controlled essentially by a new cabal.
I agree, but I think that's in the near future. In other words, I think as our frequency raises, and I think someone else said that too in the chat, Jeff Napier, as we become more evolved and move into a different, dimension, I don't think like we're going to now have knowing, because our connection with source is going to be that much stronger. And so perhaps we will be evolving to a point where those answers we know, we get, we share telepathically.
But Lisa, that's...
Well, I'm saying for mankind. Yeah. You just said for mankind.
Right, but right now we're on our phone staring at it, asking it for answers.
No question.
I mean, I just dropped my daughter off at the high school.
Yeah.
These kids, they walk, not by looking forward. They walk by looking at the phone.
I told my kids, I was like, you better work on your posture. I was like, you're all going to have humps if you don't start. All of us. I mean, it's not just them, but they're young. They're still developing. I'm like, you're going to get a hump.
English talk, nailed it. Yeah. You can drown with the phone. Yeah. You walk into a lake.
Yeah. People have become disconnected from themselves.
Right. That's why I'm saying if this thing starts spewing out stuff that is not truth, it's manipulated, a manipulated attack, then we can be even more controlled.
Well, but it already is. Like if you work with AI and you ask it certain things, especially like in truth or stuff, when I will try to compose something, even when I'm doing the Substacks, it won't, I have to tell it, like it will soften things. It won't say child trafficking. It won't say certain things like that. Maybe it's programmed. I don't know that it's not supposed to stick with the narrative. It puts words in there like allegedly. No, I didn't say allegedly. Right. So you're right. So I think it's already
in the it's already in the algos.
Yeah.
It's already cooked in there.
Yeah.
AI's been there for a lot longer than people think. It's not.
Yeah. And if you talk to people like Chris O'Connor, he says that the controlling mechanism in the universe that's behind the cabal, if you will, the baddies, is an AI. And that's a whole rabbit hole to go down to, down through.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know the truth, do we? But if AI is benevolent or controlled by benevolence, it's a good thing, isn't it? What AI?
No, I mean, that would be the greatest thing in the world. Yeah. Sure. I mean, listen, I'm its number one fan. I love AI. I love it. But I also, because I love it so much, I'm on it constantly. And the problem is that because I use it constantly, I see what could happen if it's used for bad.
Yeah. Isn't that true with everything? That's like kind of the argument when people start saying how bad guns are. Well, I can kill someone with a hammer, with a knife, with a brick.
A look.
What?
A look.
The look. No, but you know what I'm saying? Like anything can be used for bad.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what they've done. They've used the education system for bad, the medical industry for bad. All of it. That's what they've done to us, which has all got to be reversed if we're going to move into this new world.
So it's sad, but at the same time, it's refreshing that we know.
Yeah.
Now we know. So it's like, okay. And
Yeah.
then this way, everything is okay because we're ready for it.
So this isn't political, but I want to tell you, when I was in Florida, I had a little situation with my eye. Long story short, they thought I had a detaching retina. They sent me to the emergency room. It wasn't. It was a floater. But I've never in my life, I never thought I would say this, okay? I've never had such a good experience in a hospital like I did in Florida. First of all, the warmth of these people that work there. Secondly, it was like, God bless you. When do you hear that in a medical setting? Again, I'm not a big proponent of, the medical industry, but sometimes I guess you need to, get their wisdom here or there. And it was the most refreshing situation because I thought to myself, I don't know if it's because I'm in Florida. I don't know what it is, free state. It was an amazing experience considering how much I was comparing it to New York and the horror of New York. So just
I think you're mentally already in Florida.
Yeah. So different. I mean, the young doctor comes in and she has a tattoo on her arm, 44. I was like, oh my God, 40. She's like, is that your angel number? And then we started getting into this whole conversation about all that. And like, she's calling the patient's mama. She's like, all right, mama, calm down. Like, it was so different. So I hope that's the blueprint for where we're going in healthcare,
What was it, her angel number, or did she vote for Obama?
No, it's her angel number.
So what's the plan, Elisa? You gonna be moving?
I was still looking. So
is it happening? Is that where your heart is
right now? But we liked it. We enjoyed it. We loved the little town of Vero Beach. It was adorable. It was quiet and nice, but close enough to visit everyone we love. So yeah.
How far is that from me in Aventura?
To Miami?
Fort
A couple hours.
How many?
A couple hours.
Great.
It's not far. And by the way, I just want to say to Jeff, I've been reading that castor oil does get rid of floaters. So yes, I've started that. I was doing it for a while. I stopped. I'm going back to it. I also heard, which I want to do more research on, DMSO, which has been banned by the FDA, is supposed to be another thing that helps with many, many, many ailments. And I don't know enough to talk more about it, but I'm going to start diving in. And I asked George about it too, as a pharmacist, to look into that. We're going to start seeing there's so many things that are so simple.
Elisa, you might want to reach out to Pat Blair. She moved out of Vero Beach.
Oh, okay. I'll reach out. I'm very open. I have no definitives.
We need to know why she moved out of Vero Beach.
Yeah, I understand it's very it's really quiet, and it's a little like people that are there stay there for like generations, and so it's a little closed. But I will see Pat.
That's Florida, yeah.
Can be.
That is Florida, yeah.
Vero Beach, Florida.
What is it? East side, west side, isn't it? Or what is it? West Beach, East Beach?
So it's East Coast and West Coast of Florida.
West Coast. Yeah. And what were you saying to me the differences are? Because some people like one side and some people like the other side, didn't they?
Like Mark Abrahams, he is such a proponent for the West Coast, and several other people. I think it's just a personal preference. East Coast is very north, right? A lot of people that came from the north. So if you're looking to get the hell away from anybody that was up north or in New York, West Coast is probably a better bet. If you like the East Coast, because
I like both. I really like both. Yeah. I've been to both. I like both.
Yeah.
But I live on the East. I live on, I have my apartment on the East.
I think there's a comfort level to the East Coast if you're coming from the north.
Right. Right. It's just easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, where I live, like you could talk to anybody like that. It's just, I mean, I've been to, within the community, they have a couple restaurants, and I go to the restaurant, and by the time I leave the restaurant, I would have talked to like 20 people.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is so nice. So great.
So what else is on your list, Stu? Because I think I'm going to leave you guys.
I've got loads of stuff on my list. I want to know what Rene has been looking into, really.
Yeah, I'm still kind of fixated on the war. what the real goal is. Like, why are we doing this? Are we being controlled by Israel? I'm still a little bit nervous. I'm still not 100% okay with what we're doing there. Like, I don't understand. I really still don't understand the end game. The end game could be a lot of the things that we've already discussed, but we're not privy to everything. We don't know everything. You know, we could speculate that we know. I'd like to know, Stu, what do you think is if there is an end game to this Iranian conflict?
Well, the Iran conflict, whatever we're being told, is Iran was a deep state stronghold. So was Ukraine. So was Venezuela. So was Cuba, etc. These places are being dismantled in pretty much every country around the earth, right? Or across the earth, whatever shape it is, was run by the cabal.
But then how do we reconcile that with Zionism, with the Zionists in Israel? Right? Don't we want to get rid of the Zionists as well?
Well, saving Israel for last. You know, whatever that means. This is what
I mean, not all of Israel. I'm talking about the Zionist elements of Israel. The I want to take over the world element of Israel.
Well, they did want to overtake the world, didn't they? They were controlling a lot of the world from there. You know, we hear about, you know, Geneva and Switzerland and stuff as well as a cabal stronghold and all sorts of places. But they've all got to be taken down piece by piece, structurally. And I think, you know, if Nasara is real, and we're going to find out about that, there'll be no more wars, a redistribution of wealth. We're moving into a much better world, but you have to clear out the tunnels underground. You have to take down all these regimes. You have to take down their criminal bases. You have to take out the weapons. All this stuff in Iran is leading to Obama. This is why Trump keeps truthing about, you know, we're going to get the dust and we're going to get the uranium and all this sorts of stuff, because it's got a signature on it, and it will lead to the fact that Obama.
Okay.
He's even said it. We'll probably get rid of it. We don't even need it. So what does that mean then? And why are you doing it?
But aren't you guys having like flashbacks of the whole bullshit with the Iraq war, the yellow cake uranium and all that? No,
because it's completely the opposite.
Okay.
That was cabal run.
Okay.
This is not. This is White Hat operations, military, continuity of government.
So this is go in and just expose everything.
Everything will be exposed.
Everything.
Yeah. Don't forget the cabal installed puppets everywhere. So you've got to remove these. This is why you're even seeing now with all the elections and stuff, you're seeing so many people coming in that Trump is endorsing that have a military background.
Yeah, and let's not forget when we talk about Israel, you know, because that was one of the other things that my daughter's boyfriend said, and understandably so. Like, he's just a puppet for Israel. Well, what did he just do? He just told them, you're out. When it comes to this whole Iran with Iran, he told Netanyahu, you're out. We'll take. So people aren't looking at what's really going on. Like, they're listening to the narrative, but they're not really looking at what's like happening per se. And if anybody with eyes to see, that man is not the same guy, Netanyahu.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
So how could you be a puppet to someone that it's not, you know, who represents the Israel, if it's not even him? I mean, we have to assume it's all done. That as truthers and understanding what we understand, when it comes out, when they talk about it, when they show us on the news, it's done.
You know, that's a concept I have to wrap my head around. That once it's being shown, it means it already happened. Something like that.
Yeah. We're seeing a public rollout of a narrative that's already been done behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's such a difficult concept
It is.
to wrap your head around. It really
Well,
is.
look at Tony Blair, or Tony Blair, as I like to call him. He is one of these deep state criminals, weapons of mass destruction, George Bush, the Iraq War and everything. He's just came out yesterday, I think, or the day before. He's completely going against this net zero agenda. Now, would we ever hear Tony Blair saying something like that? Is that Tony Blair? Is that an actor playing Tony Blair? Has Tony Blair been allowed out on day release from Gitmo to say that? Has Tony Blair been filmed at Gitmo saying that? You know, we are going to see people on the wrong side activated to spin things around. This is why people still do need to watch the mainstream media, because it's going to be those people that were activated at certain times to start filtering out the truth. Because if you sit there and watch the news all day long, don't believe anything anyone else says. If it's not in the news, it didn't happen. Right. The only place you're going to learn the truth is from the news. Yeah. So carry on and keep watching it, because you're going to shit yourself.
So if you want, maybe is there something like a video you want to share? I know, Lisa, you have to go, and then
I'm gonna love and leave you guys.
We'll do you and I can do just like a quick show, and maybe like if there's any videos that you feel like me and the audience would benefit from, I think that'd be a good thing to do.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything. We did our show with Matrix Codebreaker yesterday, and that is a 3-hour show, and Matrix really goes into the Masons, especially the Knights Templar, and how it all connects to the Q drops. It is a fantastic watch.
Did you guys ever do that? I have it. I'm looking at my calendar here. Thursday, May 28th, Ethiopian Bible podcast. I just realized.
Well, that's with Razor. That's in a few weeks' time. But you can come on for that if you like.
Yeah, I need to know when that's on. I would love to be on for that.
Let me just find it.
I'm kind of fascinated by this Ethiopian Bible.
Yeah, that is Razor's in the chat. He might.
Yeah, he is. Wait, I have it here. Hold on one second.
Hang on, that's July. So June. It is Thursday the 11th.
Thursday the 11th of June?
Yeah. If you want to join us for that, and it's okay with Razor, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, that's great, because I fly to Sweden. I fly to Sweden that night, so I can do it.
Yeah.
All right, well, bye, guys. Podcast. Enjoy the rest of the show. Love you all in the chat.
Bye, Lisa.
All right, I'll see you later. Bye.
Try and join me later.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, good. All right, I'll see you later.
I spoke to Misty. I'm waiting for an answer.
Well, Misty was in the chat earlier, so yeah, Razor, it's 11th. June 11th.
Bye.
See you later. Good luck. She keeps having to go to funerals, bud.
I have a funeral on Sunday. Tomorrow. Oof, tomorrow. Same thing. It's my friend's mother who's died at 97 years old.
Well, that's a good innings, isn't it?
Yeah. So I've got that in the morning. It never ends. It's okay. This is what we got to do as adults. We got to support each other, and when people pass away, you got to pay your respects.
Well, exactly that, and we still don't know how many people had that and how much of that was bad and all these sorts of things. And we are seeing this unfold. But
now I've been reading that now this vaccine that we all took affects your DNA, and it could even affect future generations.
Well, potentially, if the spike protein is still in there, yeah.
So your children may not have an effect, but maybe your grandchildren? Is that what it's saying?
Yeah, maybe, but I do think, Elisa and I have discussed this a lot, the fact that if you watch that Devolve series, the military was working on some sort of vaccine.
Right, you guys have told me it's like it was probably saline.
Well, we hope so. We try and manifest these things. Because if you don't have a positive outlook in life, that is detrimental to your well-being straight away. And we're not hopium dealers or anything like that. Just we don't talk about the vaccine, because potentially, you've got to talk about everything, because everything that comes out of your mouth on a platform like this may help someone. right? Heal themselves or look into treatments. Yep. And what they can do if they're suffering symptoms. If anyone's not suffering any symptoms, 3 or 4 or 5 years from having that jab, Dr. Pete McCullough said this, don't worry about it. And I wouldn't, my dad said 10, right? And he's still absolutely compass mentis here. He did spend a time in hospital, but if they were all bad, surely people would have, they'd have taken out this, 90% of the people already with how many people took stuff. So I believe a lot of it, you cannot, that's the other thing as well. There's a lot of, stuff with Trump and Operation Warp Speed. And I've done 2 podcasts on this on my own. I don't know if you've seen those, but I go into it and you've got X22 talking about it, John Herald, loads of Kate Awakening, all putting in little thoughts about it, Cliff High. And it's, Trump was fighting the cabal there. They had to allow them to go through with some of their operations, we believe. And some of the bad stuff got through. If anyone's worried about it, you can go on howbadismybatch.com and put in your batch numbers, and it'll tell you people that have suffered side effects from your certain batch numbers. Everyone's got a little card if they have one.
Oh,
sure.
Okay. Oh, with the number.
Let me just try and find that.
Okay. So so each vaccine was different, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, I think so. Let's just see if anything comes up now. Yeah, I mean, this site here. How bad is my batch? You can check your lot number by states and see all the adverse events and, what's going on.
Holy smokes. So each vaccine was different. It depends on what batch it's from.
Yeah, it's howbad.info.
Oh, that's incredible.
Let me just try.
I'm almost afraid to do it.
Yes, but
I don't want to drive myself batshit.
No, but there's help. I would, if I'd had one. In fact, I have checked other people's on here that have been worried in the past. So you send me a batch number then.
Yeah, I've got it over there.
Yeah.
You do it for me because it'll stress me out to do it for myself.
Yeah, I'll do that for you. No worries at all.
I'll do it.
People, whatever's going on, you got to live in love, not fear. Right?
That's
because
right.
if you live in fear, 99% of fear, I've just made that number up. Let's say 98 because there's 17% of fear is worry about something that never ever happens.
Right. The whole concept of worrying is inefficient. It's just it's a waste of energy. If you have a concern, address it. Try to correct it, attack it. But worrying about something will do absolutely nothing for anything.
No. I've given people lots of solutions. That's why I started my Telegram channel. This one here. Stu's News Doctor's Helpline. Right? I started that about 4 years ago, and there's about 200 posts in there, I think. No, about 130 posts. And it's just got medical information from doctors, all these top doctors, fenbendazole, ivermectin. And anyone can go on that. Stu's News Doctor's Helpline. If anyone wants that, just send me an email or whatever, or a message, and I'll send you a link to it. It's like I've made about 150,000 posts in my Stu's News Telegram, but I've piggybacked about 120, 130 posts into there. All it is doctors' information.
Right.
About spike protein and COVID protocols and everything.
So Stu, did you notice that all of a sudden they keep hitting us with new pandemics? Like, first it's hantavirus, and now all of a sudden Ebola. But have you noticed that nobody cares? Like before, they would get so nervous and afraid and locked. Now it's like the people are just like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yes, but that could be the white hats pushing these things out, right? To gauge the public awareness and the public pushback. So if they're doing this, push out antivirus, because the antivirus, that was all on cruise ships. That was all on cruise ships, wasn't it? Right. Pretty almost identical to what happened at the start of COVID. We were seeing people locked down on cruise ships in the videos, and we showed you that video, didn't we? We haven't been on for 3 weeks, but we showed you that video about that guy in green lying his arse off. Right?
He's an actor.
Now, if the white hats are pushing these scares out, it would be for 2 reasons. Number one, to see how many people
react.
Yeah, and I'm not falling for it this time and stuff. Mm-hmm. But number two, antivirus has sort of come and gone. Ebola, they're trying to push that a bit. We've got all this tick problem now that's happening. We're seeing maps of all these Bill Gates ticks. No
one cares.
Like, whatever.
Whatever.
But it's like, if we're at a stage now where the people are there, whatever, being whatever, right, is not accelerating the move to sovereignty everywhere and the standing up to tyranny in our governments and all that. So maybe the white hats are gauging people, well, they're not really buying it now. So, and whoever is doing it, we've been told about scare event and precipice moments and near-death experiences. Are we going to have something like that? So people have got to be pushed, because they're still not doing anything. They're still looking away. Right? They're not interested when you tell them about child trafficking. So you've got to, unfortunately, scare these people somehow. Now,
well, I'll tell you what will scare people. A nuke. A nuke will scare people.
Yeah, it would.
That much I will tell you.
If
a virus outbreak, done it, bought the T-shirt. But one thing we haven't done in a long time is a nuclear bomb.
Yeah. So with all this fakery and stuff, you may even see this on the mainstream media. We may yet be going to a World War III scare event, because what Trump is doing, especially now he's pushed some other people to sign the Abraham Accords this last week, hasn't he, is the fact that Trump is showing you that he is stopping all these wars, even though, they're in Iran at the moment and people are going, what about no new wars? He's stopping all these wars. He's creating peace agreements everywhere in the Middle East. And what people are seeing is that Israel are not going along with it.
Right.
So people, even the Middle Eastern countries, are building a pact that the only one going against it is Israel.
Correct.
You had that guy say the other day that whatever Trump says, we're going to go against it. I think. Did you see that clip?
If you have it, I did see it, but I'd like to see it again. If you have it.
I can't remember where it is. I've got it. Yeah, if you want to fill the blank air. I don't know where that is. I can't see it. Right. I can't even remember what his name was. It wasn't Ben Gvir, was it? It was.
I mean, when is he going to come into power, Ben Gvir?
That's annoyed me. I can't find that. So let me just do a little search. I mean, what else have you been looking at?
Well, the Ebola scare, quote unquote scare, saw that, and I noticed that people didn't care. So that was, to me, that seemed like a good thing, because it represents a population that can no longer be controlled. But now you're telling me that maybe it's the White Hats that are putting it out there to see to what extent they can't be controlled. So it's interesting how you just, if you flip the perspective on it, it can mean anything.
Yeah.
I was just I was just like, yeah, whatever. It's like, okay, what new thing are they going to throw at me now?
Yeah. So how were you in the COVID time of lockdown and all this push for scare on the media?
So in COVID, I was actually one of the few people that I knew that didn't listen to anything. You know, eventually, you know, I would actually go to my office every day, and I was the only person in the building. You know, something in me doesn't want to be controlled. But I also understood that the world, in order for it to function, this is what you needed to do. So eventually I capitulated. I put on my mask, but I didn't do it with fear. I only did it with fear when it came to old people. Like if I would go to my parents' house, I was like, I don't know what the hell is in the air. You know, like I don't know what I could have. So I would actually observe the rules when I was confronted by elderly people. That's it. Just out of respect and to make sure I wasn't the cause of someone's harm. You know, because, you know, the truth is back then we really didn't know too much. We knew what we were told. So aside from that, when it came to me and my friends and family that wasn't the elderly, we didn't do any of that.
Yeah. So you were sort of 50-50 really, weren't you?
Yeah.
You wanted to buck the system, but you also, I mean, did you have 2 jobs? Did you? 1?
No. I mean, I've always, you know, I've always owned my businesses. So it's I haven't had a job since.
No, jab.
Oh, a jab. Yeah, I had 2.
Yeah.
I had 2.
Yeah.
I had 2. It's concerning, but I did have 2 because I had no idea.
But your reaction now to hantavirus, the ticks, and Ebola is like,
oh right, the ticks. I forgot the ticks. Jesus. Yeah. They hit us with everything.
Yeah, they're the main 3 things at the moment.
In a matter of weeks.
Yeah. Now, it is election season. We are running up to the midterms. This is normally when they do things, but
right.
Burning Bright says this all the time. It's bicameral thinking. Whenever you see something like the ticks, like Ebola, like hantavirus, who's doing it? Is it a white hat operation? Is it a black hat operation?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can go down both avenues and find reason why. But if you follow intensely what Stormy and Abs does and Dave and Rambo and me and Elisa and many, many, many other shows, it would tell you that Matrix Codebreaker yesterday, everyone's got to watch that, is amazing. It would tell you that the Patriots are in control. It will tell you this is an organic thing. They just can't come in and save everyone. Right? People have to save themselves. Ultimately, this is God's plan, however this is unfolding.
So what do you think was the thinking behind the ticks? Like, what is it? Simply to advance a vaccine, profit, a cure, you know, create the problem and sell the cure?
Problem, reaction, solution, as David likes to call it.
Is it that simple?
Well, we've seen these things before. I mean, even before COVID, they had a tabletop exercise, didn't they, the year before, telling everyone what was going to happen. You know, Fauci said there will 100%, don't quote me on this, in the next administration, we'll have to deal with a major pandemic.
Except they're trying to give us one a week.
Well, maybe they are. Maybe they. Maybe it's what they've got to do. Maybe they've got to put a lockdown on the telly. Everyone's got to wear masks again all around the world to gauge how many people like you now will say, fuck you, I'm not doing it.
Correct.
Because there was many of us that said that 6 years ago.
No, but you did it on the first go. I can guarantee you that on this, like now, people are not doing this crap again. They're not.
No, I mean, if you had to gauge
they've got to come up with something different.
Yeah.
That's why I'm thinking like, a nuclear scare, something like that.
But throughout history, we've seen many things. Jason Q talks about this all the time. They have to do everything twice, right? A lot of stuff we're seeing has to be done twice. So maybe it will be that. Maybe we'll have multiple scare events. Maybe we would have no scare event at all. But maybe one of these, a lot of people are posting videos about the ticks. People aren't worried about the hantavirus, but it seems to me like it's the one they're pushing the most really at the moment is Ebola, right? Because the Congo's locked down and so things like this. But maybe that's just because some places need to wake up more than others. Or
well, listen, the way I look at it, if they were so concerned about Ebola, shut down all flights out of the Congo.
Yeah, exactly. But we've been seeing these videos, haven't we? The same shit we saw in Convict with people falling down in the streets, all these lorries driving through the streets, spraying all these chemicals out everywhere, and now we're seeing videos exactly the same again, hantavirus, Ebola, whatever, with people there in hazmat suits and then people in shirts and t-shirt walking past. Yeah. And because people are, what's going on there?
Right, it's a Hollywood set.
Yeah, have you ever seen Wag the Dog?
The movie, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
We're watching a massive Wag the Dog.
Constantly. It's like, enough, guys. Just, take up golf. Leave us alone.
They won't be able to do any golfing at Gitmo.
No. All right, so why don't we just do a quick? It's almost 9:30. We'll do a little bit shorter show.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Yeah, no, it's good. I do like to have my partner in crime here, really. Yeah. While we're doing this, but I'm on with Jason a bit later. I don't know if Elisa can make it, so Misty might be standing in. So
all right, cool.
That'd be good in a few hours. But all right. Brilliant. We'll. So if you're taking Fridays off. I can put you in for every Friday, pretty much now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the plan. I want to get my time back. I want to get my life back. I don't want to just work till I drop dead. I want to just do what I want to do.
Yeah. Perfect. All right, my buddy. Look, you have a nice weekend. I'll see you next week. Thanks everyone in the chat.
Take care. Bye everyone. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, and I'll see you later.
Take care.
Bye.
Make sure you're watching Stu's News and Patriots Across the Pond for some of your awakening information. Amazing guests every week from Monday to Saturday. Visit patriotsacrossthepond.com and follow Stewie and Elisa today on Rumble for the live shows. And remember, where we go one, we go all.
In a world flooded with noise, clarity has become rare. People are questioning what they're told and searching for something real. Mr. Heal's modern wellness meets old school remedies. CBD tinctures, methylene blue, gummies and edibles, THC-free wellness, and functional remedies crafted with old school care and modern precision. Biozox, a trusted source for ivermectin and fenbendazole. Biozox, believe your health decisions should be yours, not dictated by politicians or big pharma. Crafted with purpose and precision, freedom forged coffee, cacao and mushroom tinctures, small batch roasted coffee, rich cacao and functional mushrooms crafted with purpose. Verity Metals, redefining what precious metals investing should be. Why choose Verity Metals? We're not just another gold dealer. We're a trusted retirement partner. Our clients choose us because we lead with education, integrity, and transparency. Medical bills are the leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States, accounting for 66.5% of bankruptcies. We can all agree the healthcare system is broken. There is an alternative: impact health sharing, which Yahoo News is calling the disruptor in the $4.6 trillion healthcare system. For more information, visit patriotsacrossthepond.com.